One of the coolest things that has come from running a watch review channel on YouTube is the behind the scenes access that occurs with regard to other collectors and their watches. And this comes in the forms of selling watches, buying watches, borrowing and lending watches, and as we'll discuss in this episode, trading watches. If you have seen my Instagram or my latest video, you'll know that I made a trade with a viewer and subscriber of this channel, John V, for his Zodiac Super Seawolf 53 skin dive watch, in exchange for 3 of my watches, which we'll get to a bit later in the video. John initially was looking for a bronze watch and had hit me up, but the only bronze piece that I own is my Glycine Combat sub, which honestly has too much sentimental value for me to let go of. It was the watch that I purchased to celebrate hitting 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, and it has been with me to various beaches. But since I was not able to trade that watch, I sent him a list with photos of the watches I was interested in trading or selling. From there we made a deal, and since John V is up in Canada, I decided this would be a really cool opportunity to have this watch kind of go on this adventure on a little side quest over to my good friend Chris with the Merely on Time YouTube channel. I had asked Chris to spend a short time with the watch, do an unboxing, which you can see in the link up here and in the description below. He did a great job, and I just want to say thank you, Chris, for agreeing to do this and for taking time out of your watch review schedule to help me out. And go check out his channel, guys. Send him some love, subscribe. He's a really cool dude, and I wouldn't just send my watch to anyone, so please go support his channel and let him know that the Schwartz Force sent you. So before we get into all the details on the Zodiac, I know you're probably wondering what I traded for this watch. Well, it was actually a combination of 3 pieces. My Alpina Star Timer Automatic Pilot Chronograph watch, my Reef Tiger RGA 3035, which as you can see is an homage of the 50 Fathoms, and lastly, a piece I picked up from another friend and YouTuber, Miguel with SoCal Watch Reviews, the Daypix Abros. As cool and as unique as this watch is, I just didn't find myself wearing it as much, so I offered it in this deal, and I hope John V is able to give it a lot more wrist time than I could. The Reef Tiger pretty much stopped being worn after I picked up my Blancpain 50 Fathom, so I was happy to pass that along. And lastly, the Alpina was just overshadowed by the other pieces in my collection. I realized that as my collection has evolved, there are pieces that become, shall we say, forgotten. They're still there, they just don't get reached for in the same way as often, if at all. Moving on to this Zodiac watch, this one being reference Z09213 is from the Super Seawolf lineup, this one called the Super Seawolf 53 Skin, a modernized version of the original Seawolf that hit the market in 1953 as the first commercially built and available diver's watch. Being the first watch for the masses with a rotating bezel and water resistance rating of 100 meters, it is without a doubt an iconic piece. This version stays true to almost all of those original design features with small tweaks and huge upgrades. The case size of 39mm, lug-to-lug height of 46mm, and case thickness of 12.7mm with the dome sapphire crystal, and lug width of 20mm allows for plenty of strap swaps. I'll share my favorite combos with you at the end of this video. The watch is made from 316L solid stainless steel, and including the 120 click unidirectional rotating bezel with black enamel filled indices and bead blasted finishing. There is very little backplay on the bezel, and the thin coin edge is just high and sharp enough to allow for an easy grip. The bracelet is also full of some really nice upgrades, like the integrated quick release spring bar mechanism, ceramic ball bearings used in the milled deployant clasp. The bracelet is all brushed with the exception of tiny slivers of high polish along the edges of the clasp. This matches the all brushed finishing on the case and lugs. I also love the step down link design, where each link is shortened by 1mm starting at the lugs 20mm stepping down to 16mm, and because of the design of the 3-link bracelet, it just strikes me as more noticeable for some reason. I have noticed other reviewers complain about the difficulty of getting a fingernail under the safety fold over clasp, but for me, I just grip it from the sides to pull up, and the clasp opens easily this way. The watch has 200 meters of water resistance, double that of the version from 1953, and it is powered by the Zodiac Movement caliber STP-1-11, which I believe is based on the design of the ETA 2824, with the use of a swan neck regulator and upgraded mainspring that will give this watch 44 hours of power reserve, beating at 28,800 vibrations per hour, or 4 Hz. I was a bit disappointed to see this movement has an accuracy of around -15 to 16 seconds per day. The lume is also a bit of a letdown, only because it does not last that long, and I really wish it did because the color of it is amazing. It's this orange C3 superluminova that's applied to the hands, the bezel, and the hour markers. I think if it had just lasted longer, it'd be such a cool feature of this watch. Now I love the dial and handset design. There's clever use of triangles, lines, and squares throughout. In the chapter ring, we see simple stick markers for the minutes in white with a shortened square version of the original 1953 double baton style hour markers at each hour. And each hour marker has an isosceles triangle of lume under it. At the 12, 3, 6, and 9, we see large equilateral triangles filled with white lume and each Arabic numeral in stainless steel that matches the thin steel border of each triangle. The handset is a Dauphine style filled with lume, and I like the needle second hands with this triangle syringe styled pointer at the end. The dial is a lightly textured black color that gives great contrast with the hands and hour markers, and legibility is easy thanks to the applied AR coating on the underside of the sapphire glass. There is Zodiac branding on the dial at 12 o'clock as well as on the screw down crown, and I enjoy this elegant script of the model name at 6 o'clock above the indication of automatic and water resistance rating. This watch wears really well on my 7 1/4 inch wrist. Though it measures at 12.7 millimeters thick, it does not wear thick at all. And if you get tired of the bracelet, fear not, as this watch is an absolute strap monster. Let me show you some of my favorite pairings. So which of these pairings was your favorite? Let me know in the comments down below. I'd really like to hear your opinion. So in conclusion, I loved that this opportunity to own the Zodiac watch came up, and that it involved working together with a viewer and fan of the channel, then got sent over to another friend and YouTuber. All of this adds to the special story and charm that this watch now carries. The fact that I own a modern Blancpain 50 Fathoms, which is also a relaunch that pays homage to the original 50 Fathoms, the first military-issued dive watch used by the French Navy, to have now this Zodiac, a relaunch of the first commercially available dive watch, both hailing from 1953, makes for such an awesome duo in the collection. These watches bring a smile to my face, and seeing them together is quite special. The Zodiac Super Seawolf 53 skin is a limited edition of 500 watches. You can still get them at the time of this video, so if you've been intrigued by this review, I highly recommend you go check them out. I'm not associated with Zodiac or get paid by them in any way, but I really think they're an understated brand and worth checking out. If I missed any details, please share your thoughts down in the comments, and as always, I look forward to seeing you all at the next one. Until then, may the Schwartz be with you. Take care.